Carter Intralogistics, formerly Carter Control Systems, is a subsidiary of the Lummus Corporation. Founded in 1980, we started our journey providing control systems and motor-driven roller, or MDR conveyor, to the postal business. Over the years, we have grown to become a trusted solutions provider and integration partner in the material handling world. Carter Intralogistics provides warehouse automation products and solutions to industries such as e-commerce, food and beverage, wine and spirits, and third-party logistics. Intralogistics is not only part of our name, it is built into the foundation of our company. We provide expertise in a full range of automation solutions, from order fulfillment and robotics to software controls and MDR conveyor systems. Our line of MDR conveyor, Carter Roll, is manufactured in one of our 3 U.S.-based facilities. We are a trusted integrator with proven partnerships throughout the industry. At Carter Intralogistics, we take great pride in helping clients fulfill their futures. For more information, please visit our website at carterintralogistics.com.
Hello, I'm Sheila Blanco, Public Information Manager for Savannah-Chatham County Public Schools, and we are here today with another Connections to Careers, talking about opportunities for some of our Savannah-Chatham County Public Schools students or recent graduates. Joining me today is Mr. Leonard Caver. He is with Lummus Corporation and Carter Intralogistics.
Yes.
So first off, the biggest question is, what is Lummus Corporation and Carter Intralogistics? What does the company do?
Great question. Well, we'll start with the Lummus Corporation. The Lummus Corporation primarily operates in the manufacturing and agricultural space. Their legacy goes back over 150 years to the Eli Whitney family, actually. So the creation of the cotton gin. So a lot of people don't know that the Lummus Corporation is the largest exporter of cotton in the world, and we are based here in Savannah. So we primarily build cotton gins as well as produce replacement parts while working with local agricultural influencers and farmers to extract cotton in this region and throughout the cotton belt overall.
You're right. I had no idea of that, of any of that. I didn't know that cotton was the biggest, we were the biggest exporter of cotton, or that the cotton gin is still being produced, but I assume it's a much more technologically advanced cotton gin than the original.
Absolutely. We have made some advancements from having a smaller gin from the Eli Whitney family to now some of our gins are the size of 2-story buildings.
Oh, wow.
And they're truly a system of components. The second organization is called Carter Intralogistics. So Carter Intralogistics operates in an automation and robotics space. We essentially create custom conveying systems for companies like Amazon or USPS to help with shipments of goods. We also program specialized robotics for them for automation in some of their distribution centers. So a lot of career opportunities and growth in that space in the marketplace.
That sounds like some things that I've seen some of our students do in some of our career technical areas, Woodville Tompkins, our engineering school over at Jenkins, Savannah High. They have those students who work on those robotics, and it's always so fascinating. So to think that they could learn that in school and move on into that as a career right here in Savannah is good to know.
Absolutely. We have 2 plants here in the Savannah area, the Carter Intralogistics plant being the newest to the geographic region. So definitely want to get the word out to all our students in the area that right under your nose, there are many opportunities in the manufacturing space that you can explore.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about any entry-level positions you may have for students who are just graduating and have decided to begin a career immediately, and also any possibilities for internships or apprenticeships you may have. So tell me a little bit first, I guess, about any type of apprenticeship or internship opportunities that you have or may be working on.
Well, we are currently working on our first internship and apprenticeship program. So we plan to lay it out going into the second quarter of next year, so 2022 will be the first opportunity for students in the area to be able to partner with the Lummus Corporation in order to gain an internship or experience in that space. And this is rather if you're going to college, so you're not limited to whether you're going to a trade school, whatever your opportunities after graduation is, sometimes coming in that space will give you a better idea on if this is what you really want to do when you grow up. Sometimes it's not how it always looks on the television. So we are looking to lay out that program starting in May of next year.
And what about entry-level opportunities? Is a college degree required, or the high school degree will be able to get their foot in the door? And does it depend on what type of job it is, I guess, in that respect?
Great question. And the latter is the answer. So we have multiple opportunities for individuals who have a high school diploma. Some roles that come to mind initially is a laser helper. So this person would partner with a laser operator and essentially train to learn how to operate our laser cutter. We have a press brake helper. Very similar. You'll notice this helper is our entry-level roles. They basically are a metal fabricator. After you get pieces of metal, we'll teach you how to bend it using a large machine. You'll become essentially a machinist. Also, an entry-level role that would just require a high school diploma is assembly. So we talked about Carter Intralogistics. Some of their components have a lot of electronics components to make the conveying systems work in a synchronized fashion. We will essentially teach you how to assemble multiple pieces from very large systems, as we talked about with the cotton gins that can be 2 stories, or very small components. So those are some examples of entry-level roles that would not require any collegiate experience. And then on the other side of the house, a multitude of engineering opportunities. So right now, I hire mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, a hybrid of the two, mechatronic engineers, manufacturing engineers, research and development, R&D engineers. That's not usually entry-level role. You usually have to work up to R&D. But even coming out of college, there are multiple opportunities available.
Well, what kind of advancement is there at the company? If someone starts out even without a college degree, if they've got their high school degree and start out as one of the, I think you said the laser assistant, what type of advancement would be possible from that, and what kind of support does the company give to employees that would like to advance in their career there?
Well, the sky is the limit. One thing that I would say, let's talk about Lummus organization overall. The Lummus Corporation's oldest tenured employee has been there 40 years.
Wow.
So if you can get in the door, we create multiple career paths for you to go within the manufacturing space. So you're only capped by your will and aptitude, to be frank. Some opportunities that we have to help that development is we offer tuition reimbursement. So if you graduated and didn't go directly to college, but still want to go on that path and kind of take your time, we can assist there. If you want to go straight to the collegiate level while working with us, we have multiple shifts of operation as well. Some of my local college students now, for example, we partner with organizations like Georgia Southern and like Savannah Technical College. Some of the students will go to school during the day and then work a second shift with us from about 3:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. and then start their day over and have their regular routine. So there are multiple career paths depending on what your interest is. We also love to cross-train. So a lot of my leaders in the organization, let's say if you're a machinist, okay, do you want to learn how to operate multiple machines? Do you want to become a supervisor or go into a leadership role to manage a production area or a fabrication area or assembly specifically? Do you want to duplicate your skills and teach others? There are multiple areas that you can explore.
Wow. How would someone apply for one of those jobs, whether entry level or the ones that do require some more experience? Do you have a website or is there some other way to?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, you can contact me anytime.
Okay.
I'm sure that after this publication, we will have multiple lines of communication, and feel free to reach out to me directly via email, telephone, or even LinkedIn for those working on their professionalism.
All right.
Otherwise, you can go to lummus.com, so www.lummus.com /careers. There are show opportunities there, and www.carterintralogistics.com. So it's a couple syllables there. But yes, you should be able to find us at both of those avenues, and it'll show all of our opportunities, not just in the Savannah area, but domestically all across the United States.
I was going to ask what other locations can someone transfer to if they decide, you know what, I want to move out of the area and try something different, someplace different for a while.
Well, perfect segue. So Carter Intralogistics, their headquarters is actually in Frederick, Maryland, right outside of the D.C. Baltimore area. We have multiple plants there, as well as here in Savannah. As far as the Lummus Corporation, we operate all throughout essentially the Cotton Belt, so mostly throughout the southeast and southwest of the United States. We operate in South America, Australia, as well as some parts of Africa. So we work with international commerce and domestic commerce. So there are a multitude of different places that you can navigate to depending on your interests within both organizations.
And I guess the last question I had for you, unless there's something else that you feel is important to get across to people, is, what makes both Lummus Corporation and Carter Intralogistics great places to work? Is it benefits? Is it pay? Is it the overall atmosphere, the support for advancement? Tell me why you would tell someone that they should come work for the company.
Well, great question. I often like to say organizations start from the top down. So I often like to use our presidents as an example. So one of our presidents for Carter Intralogistics, I would describe him as a servant leader. And this is an individual who loves to invest in the community or the employee base that he works for. We are not, I guess, the largest organization in the world. We're a relatively smaller organization. So one thing that I like with that caveat is you are not a number, you are a person. So truly, the director of HR may walk up to you, Leonard, how are you doing today? Hey, did your son have a soccer game yesterday? Just talking about you and your personal development. So going to a cultural fit, I think that is a good culture that you can grow in. Also, mentorship. As we mentioned, our longest tenured employee has been with us for 40 years. I love partnering that person with my recent graduates and have my recent graduates stump him on TikTok and Twitter and have him stump my recent graduate on how to draw blueprints by hand as opposed to using a digital AutoCAD system. So just the mix of experiences that you can gain, I think, gain a strong cultural fit. Career advancement, as we talked about as well in reference to tuition reimbursement. No matter your circumstances, whether you want to go directly to college or whether you want to take a different path to get there, we want to groom you and cultivate you and add to your professional acclimate, to be frank. Just teaching you in our manufacturing environment will give you translatable skills that you can use not only here in Savannah, but across the entire world. So I think that that's priceless. The last reason I would say it would be a good idea to maybe look into our industry is one side of the house, our Lummus Corporation industry is very consistent. Over the past 150 years, we have been there. When we had the global pandemic, we were deemed an essential business. We did not shut down. So consistency, consistency, consistency. I feel like we've been here 150 years and we will be here the next subsequent 150 years. So job security. On the Carter Intralogistics side of the house, the innovation that we are experiencing is definitely different in the marketplace. With our new normal, there's been a shift to e-commerce. How we eat our food is different. How we order our takeout is different. How we go in our day-to-day is different. And I think that'll continue to go in that direction over the next 5, 10 to 15 years. This will give students an opportunity to be on the cusp of the wave of technological advancement as well as the new normal as we see it for the next multiple decades moving forward. So I think those are some attributes that I would say are pretty appealing for both sides of the organizations.
Sounds like a pretty exciting place to work, an exciting opportunity. Benefits, I assume benefits are good, competitive pay for entry-level jobs and that type of profession?
Absolutely. And a lot of my students kind of overlook benefits. So if we could take a moment to elaborate there.
You're not thinking about health insurance when you're 20, 19.
You should. So we have very competitive medical benefits, dental, visual, and retirement. 401k is very important. We also have a health and wellness program where we give positive positive reinforcement for just a healthy lifestyle of our employees, and which will contribute towards their annual deductible for their medical deductible. So just cultivating a healthy lifestyle overall helps us out a lot. But yes, very competitive. Compensation as well. The gift that keeps on giving. I'm sure many of our students want to hear about that. So yes, we are competitive in the marketplace for sure in reference to compensation, as well as annual reviews to have you grow into a role. So even if you come in at a certain level, as you mentioned, entry level, what's our pathways? There are ways for you to grow in the organization and sustain a very significant living.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today and telling us about something that I did not even know was in Savannah. I always like to learn something new. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think it's important to get across to our students about the opportunity they could have at Lummus Corporation or Carter Intralogistics?
The last thing I will leave our students with is, as we kind of joked before our dialogue, the Lummus Corporation is the largest exporter of cotton in the world. And we are in Savannah, and to be frank, many individuals in the city of Savannah, very similar to yourself, do not know we exist. They do not know that we're here. That is an area that is a personal passion of mine that we have to pick up the ball. How have we been here 150 years, but our community does not know that we are here? So one thing that we have made a commitment to is to make sure that we spread that word and let our talent here locally in our backyard know that we're available, and we have to do a better job of getting that message out to the masses. So you have our commitment.
All right. Well, we have about 2,000 students graduating every year, around about there, usually a little bit more. So we got a whole bunch of students that I'm sure are going to be looking for jobs soon, and hopefully they will have learned a little something from this segment and have a new place to give some consideration to.
Absolutely. That is the hope.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.